Lisbon calls itself the City of Seven Hills, and it means it literally. Trams here don't just move through the city, they climb it on tracks so steep and narrow that the famous yellow number 28 squeezes past building walls with inches to spare. It's one of the most photographed sites in Europe. It's also one of the most honest illustrations of exactly why this channel exists. Because a city built almost entirely on hills, cobblestones, and centuries-old streets was never designed with wheelchairs in mind. And nobody in mainstream travel content seems willing to say that plainly before you've booked the flight. Welcome to Xplore and Discover, your world's one-stop hub for reliable, accessible luxury travel. Let's start with getting here. Most international visitors arrive at Humberto Delgado Airport, Lisbon's main airport, which sits close to the city centre, generally around a 15 to 25-minute transfer into the main hotel districts, depending on traffic. The airport itself is relatively modern and well served by taxis and private transfers. And we'd recommend arranging a private transfer directly with your hotel, rather than relying on public transport for that first journey, simply because Lisbon's public transport, while extensive, is built around exactly the same hills and historic infrastructure that make the rest of the city such a mixed bag for accessibility, which we'll get into properly in a moment. Once you're in the city, transport is where Lisbon starts to reveal its real character. The metro system is reasonably modern and does have step-free access at a good number of stations, though not universally. So it's worth checking your specific route, rather than assuming every station will work the same way. The trams, especially the historic yellow trams that everyone pictures when they think of Lisbon, are a completely different story. Original vintage vehicles from decades ago, with high boarding steps and no accessibility features at all. They're a beautiful piece of the city's identity, and they are simply not usable by most wheelchair users. Taxis and rideshare services are widely available and tend to be the most reliable way of getting around the city centre itself. And several accessible taxi services do operate in Lisbon specifically, which we'd recommend booking in advance rather than hailing on the street, particularly given how many of the city's central streets are cobbled, narrow, or steeply inclined. Food in Lisbon centres around fresh seafood, bacalhau, the country's beloved salt cod, prepared in what's said to be hundreds of different ways, alongside grilled sardines, and of course, the pastel de nata, the custard tart, that's become one of Portugal's most recognisable culinary exports. Dining accessibility varies enormously by neighbourhood. The newer, more purpose-built areas around Parque das Nações, built for Expo 98, tend to be flat and considerably easier to navigate than the historic centre, while the winding streets of Alfama and Bairro Alto, atmospheric as they are, involve genuine hills, steps, and narrow pavements that can make restaurant hopping a real physical challenge. Most hotel restaurants at the level we're covering today will be step-free from the lobby, but if you're planning to explore the city's independent restaurant scene, it's worth researching specific neighbourhoods and individual venues in advance, rather than assuming central Lisbon is uniformly walkable, because it categorically isn't. Now, our two featured hotels. The Four Seasons Hotel Ritz Lisbon is a historic 5-star landmark rising above Eduardo VII Park, blending Art Deco and Louis XVI design with contemporary Portuguese artwork throughout its public spaces, and 282 rooms and suites. It's one of the most established luxury addresses in the city. A 15-minute walk from the historic Old Town, with a Michelin-starred restaurant, an award-winning spa with an indoor lap pool, and sweeping views over the park and the Tagus River from many of its rooms. On accessibility, the hotel's own room listings, published directly on its own website, describe wheelchair-equipped rooms and a visually impaired kit available among their standard room features. That's hotel confirmed, in the hotel's own words, which is exactly the standard we look for on this channel, but we have to be honest about how thin it is. It's a single line, buried inside a general amenities list, alongside things like overnight shoe shine and complimentary newspapers, with no detail on how many rooms are actually wheelchair-equipped. What that equipping actually consists of: doorway widths or roll-in shower availability. For a 5-star hotel at this price point, that's genuinely disappointing, and it's worth saying plainly rather than presenting a single vague sentence as if it were a real accessibility commitment. It's also, unfortunately, fairly typical of what we've found across most of the luxury hotel industry on this channel so far. With the exception of a small number of properties in Tokyo and Singapore, which have published considerably more detailed, room-specific accessibility information, most of the hotels we've researched, across multiple continents now, treat accessibility as an afterthought buried somewhere in the fine print, rather than something worth explaining properly. We don't yet have that level of detail confirmed for the Four Seasons Ritz Lisbon, so we'd recommend contacting the hotel directly for those specifics before booking, particularly given how much of the property's character comes from its more traditional, decades-old room layouts. Our second hotel is the Tivoli Avenida Liberdade Lisboa, set right on Lisbon's Grand Central Boulevard, Avenida da Liberdade, often compared to the Champs-Élysées for its blend of luxury shopping and tree-lined elegance. Housed in a restored 1933 building with 264 rooms and 77 suites, it puts you within easy reach of Baixa, Chiado, and Príncipe Real, with the nearest metro station just a 2-minute walk away, a genuine advantage in a city where terrain varies so much street to street. On accessibility, the hotel's own website states directly, in its own FAQ, that it offers wheelchair-accessible rooms with spacious layouts, step-free access, and adapted amenities, and explicitly invites guests to contact the hotel directly to confirm specific accessibility needs. That's hotel confirmed too, and we appreciate how directly they've addressed it, even though, like the Four Seasons, the exact number of adapted rooms and specific bathroom configurations aren't detailed publicly, which again makes that direct call or email well worth making before you book. Comparing the two honestly, the Four Seasons gives you old-world grandeur and parkside grounds a little further from the historic centre, with wheelchair-equipped rooms confirmed on its own site. The Tivoli gives you a flatter, more central location right by the metro, with its own explicit invitation to discuss accessibility needs directly. Neither publishes the full room-by-room detail we'd ideally hand you, but both have told you something directly, which puts Lisbon ahead of several destinations we've covered on this channel already. Now, the honest challenges, because Lisbon deserves the same treatment we give every destination here. This is a city built on 7 genuine hills, and unlike a lot of destinations where that's a marketing phrase, in Lisbon it's a literal, daily, physical reality. Alfama, the oldest and most atmospheric district, is almost entirely hills, steps, and narrow cobbled lanes, some of which are genuinely impassable for a wheelchair without significant assistance. The famous funiculars and the Santa Justa lift exist specifically because parts of the city are too steep to walk. And while some of these have accessibility features, they weren't built with wheelchair users as the primary consideration. So we treat each one as its own research question, rather than an assumed solution. Pavements throughout the older parts of the city are frequently made of caçada portuguesa, the traditional small stone paving that looks beautiful in every photograph and can be genuinely uneven and slippery underfoot, particularly after rain. None of this makes Lisbon impossible. It makes it a city where route planning matters enormously, sticking to the flatter, newer districts where possible, and treating the hillier, historic areas as places to visit, with real advanced planning rather than spontaneous wandering. Given how much this city's terrain varies from street to street, we'd recommend booking your stay at least 3 to 6 months in advance, giving you time to correspond directly with your chosen hotel about specific room features, and giving yourself time to properly map out which neighbourhoods and attractions are realistically reachable given your own mobility needs. As always, some of the links in the description may be affiliate links at no extra cost to you, and that never changes which hotels we choose to feature. If you want a simple way to track the exact questions to ask before booking, our hotel accessibility checklist is linked in the description too. Check the chapters and timestamps below if you want to jump straight to a specific section. Next week, we're staying in Europe with somewhere very different. And if there's a city or a hotel you'd like us to properly research and verify, drop it in the comments below. We read every one. Thank you for watching Explore and Discover, your world's one-stop hub for reliable, accessible luxury travel.